Have you ever wondered how the bank calculates the fixed payment on a mortgage or a business loan? You sign a contract, you agree to pay an identical amount every period for 15 or 20 or 30 years, and yet inside each of those payments the split between interest and principal keeps changing. How does that work? And how does the bank determine the exact size of that fixed payment? Today we are going to crack the most common method for solving this problem, the Spitzer amortization method. We will also see what happens when, halfway through, you decide to refinance the loan. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to compute any fixed installment loan by hand, with one formula, and understand exactly what each payment is doing. Let's start with a concrete example. Imagine a fast-growing technology company that needs to build a new factory. They go to the bank and take out a loan of 150,000 shekels. The bank agrees to lend it over a 15-year term, at an annual interest rate of 8%. The big question is, how much will the company pay each year? In finance, that fixed payment has a name. We call it PMT, the periodic payment. Finding the right PMT is the entire point of the Spitzer method. But before we touch the formula, let's understand what makes this problem interesting. Every loan payment has two parts inside it. One part goes to interest, the cost of borrowing. The other part goes to principal, paying down the actual debt. In the Spitzer method, the total payment is exactly the same in every period, but the split between interest and principal changes from period to period. At the beginning, when the outstanding debt is largest, the interest portion is huge and the principal portion is small. As the years pass and the debt gets paid down, the interest portion shrinks and the principal portion grows. By the final payment, almost the entire installment is principal and almost nothing is interest. Same payment, totally different composition over time. This is why the Spitzer method is so widely used for mortgages and corporate loans. It gives the borrower a predictable, fixed cash outflow, easy to budget around, while still satisfying the financial math of compound interest. The lender always charges interest on the current outstanding balance, but the borrower always pays the same total. The only way to reconcile those two requirements is to find one specific PMT that makes everything balance out over the full term. So how do we find that PMT? Here is where one of the most useful formulas in all of finance comes in. The present value of an annuity. The logic goes like this. The loan of 150,000 shekels today must equal, in present value terms, the discounted sum of all 15 future fixed payments. If we discount each PMT back to today at the interest rate R and add them all up, the total must equal the original principal. That gives us the equation. Present value equals PMT times the quantity 1 minus 1 plus R, raised to the negative n, all divided by R. This is the present value of an ordinary annuity formula, and it is the master tool we need. Let's name our ingredients clearly. PV is the present value, the amount borrowed today, 150,000 shekels. R is the interest rate per period, 8% annually, written as 0.08. N is the number of periods, 15 years. PMT is what we are solving for, the fixed annual payment. Now we rearrange the formula to isolate PMT. PMT equals PV multiplied by R, divided by the quantity 1 minus 1 plus R, raised to the negative n. Plug in. PMT equals 150,000 multiplied by 0.08, divided by the quantity 1 minus 1.08, raised to the negative 15. The numerator is 12,000. The denominator is approximately 0.6848. Divide 12,000 by 0.6848, and you get approximately 17,524 shekels. That is the fixed annual payment the technology company will make every year for 15 years. Pause and think about what that single number really represents. 17,524 shekels is the magical amount that, paid every year for exactly 15 years, will fully pay off. The entire 150,000 shekel loan, including all interest at 8%. Any other PMT would either leave debt unpaid at the end or finish too early. There is exactly one correct answer, and the formula gives it to you in a single step. Now let's zoom out and compute the total cost of the loan. PMT is 17,524 shekels per year, multiplied by 15 years. That is 262,860 shekels in total payments over the life of the loan. The company borrowed only 150,000. So the total interest paid is 262,860 minus 150,000. That is 112,860 shekels of interest paid over 15 years. That is roughly 75% of the original loan value, simply because the debt was outstanding for 15 years and the interest rate was 8%. This is the true price of borrowing money over a long horizon. Let's also walk through what one of the early payments looks like, so the inner mechanics become concrete. In year 1, the outstanding balance is the full 150,000. Interest for the year is 150,000 multiplied by 0.08, which is 12,000 shekels. The total payment is 17,524, so the principal portion is 17,524 minus 12,000. That is 5,524 shekels. So in year 1, the company pays 12,000 in interest and only 5,524 in principal. After that payment, the new outstanding balance is 150,000 minus 5,524, which is 144,476. Now year 2. Interest is 144,476 times 0.08, which is roughly 11,558. Subtract from the 17,524 payment, and principal in year 2 is about 5,966. Notice what happened. The total payment stayed the same, 17,524. But interest dropped from 12,000 to 11,558, and principal rose from 5,524 to 5,966. This is the Spitzer schedule in action. Every year, the interest portion shrinks slightly and the principal portion grows. Now let's make the story more realistic. Almost no loan in the real world goes smoothly from start to finish without changes. What if, in the middle of the term, the company wants to refinance, to renegotiate the terms because interest rates moved or because their financial situation changed? Let's trace exactly what happens. Suppose 7 years have passed. The company has made 7 routine payments of 17,524 each. There are still 8 years left on the original schedule. The company decides to refinance. The first thing we need to know is, what is the outstanding balance at the moment of refinancing? Here is a crucial point that many students get wrong. The outstanding balance is not simply 150,000 minus all the principal portions paid so far. The proper, financially correct way to compute it is this. The outstanding balance is the present value of all the future payments that have not yet been made. In our case, that is the present value of the 8 remaining annual payments of 17,524, discounted at the original 8% rate. Working through the formula, the outstanding balance after 7 years comes out to approximately 107,707 shekels. That is the real debt that still has to be settled, and it is the figure that any new lender will use as the basis for the refinanced loan. Now the company negotiates new terms with the bank or with a different lender. Let's say the new terms are, keep the outstanding balance of 107,707, but stretch the remaining schedule out to 10 years instead of 8. The new interest rate also changes. Let's say it is set at a slightly different level reflecting current market conditions. The math is exactly the same as before, just with new inputs. PMT equals the new PV times the new R, divided by 1 minus 1 plus the new R, raised to the negative of the new N. Plug in the new numbers, and the new annual payment comes out to roughly 16,389 shekels. Look at what that did. The original payment was 17,524. The new payment is 16,389, lower by more than 1,000 shekels per year. The company has more breathing room in its annual budget. But there is a trade-off. The loan now stretches for 10 more years instead of 8. So the total amount paid over the rest of the loan will be larger than if they had stayed on the original schedule. Refinancing almost always reduces the per-period payment, but extends the term and usually increases the total interest. It is a trade-off between cash flow today and total cost tomorrow. Understanding that trade-off is the heart of refinancing analysis. A few practical takeaways. First, if you ever want to compute the fixed payment for any loan, the formula is always the same. PMT equals PV times R, divided by 1 minus 1 plus R, to the negative n. Memorize it. It is the workhorse of personal finance and corporate finance alike. Second, make sure R and N are in the same time units. If the loan is monthly, R should be the monthly rate and N should be the number of months. Mixing units is the most common mistake in loan calculations. Third, do not just look at PMT. Always also compute total interest paid. PMT times N minus PV gives you the total cost of the loan and interest. That is the number that really tells you what borrowing costs. Fourth, when refinancing, always compute the outstanding balance as the present value of remaining payments, not by simple subtraction. And always compare total cost across scenarios, not just per period cost. So next time you sign a mortgage, or your company takes out a working capital loan, you do not have to take the bank's word for the fixed payment. You can compute it yourself in seconds. You can verify that the schedule the bank shows you is correct. You can shop around between lenders by comparing not just the headline rate, but the exact PMT each one would charge you. And if rates move, you can evaluate refinancing offers properly by comparing total costs across the entire remaining horizon. That is real financial literacy, and it all comes from one elegant formula: the present value of an ordinary annuity, rearranged to solve for the unknown periodic payment. Now you have it. Use it every time you borrow.